I really like that idea of found family as well as like your biological family. Because in terms of a found family, for sure, there have been times where I've been in parts of my life where I just did not have any answer in terms of my direction, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, just who I felt like I should be. Just a lot of turmoil internally and just not knowing a lot of stuff. So there was a time when I forget the age, but definitely first time going to college. So about, I guess, 18, 19, 19 or so. Going out and being able to just sit down at a park that we had near the college at the time. I was in Illinois, so it's pretty fairly flat, not like I guess Kansas in a way, but it's pretty open. So being able to go to just a park there was just a more or less an open space, I guess we can consider it. Just sitting in the grass, literally closing my eyes, feeling the breeze, zoning out. I turned my phone off, and I just thought about what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, the life I kind of wanted to put myself into, and just knowing that I had a lot of, like, I talked earlier about autonomy and what we can't do, but there's a lot of things that I can do. If I go this way, this will happen. If I go that way, that'll happen. Um, so just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do and what direction in my career and everything I wanted to go as well. So I was able to sit down and figure out that being outdoors was something that I could see myself doing well for a long time as a career. If I had to do something, necessarily don't have to, but do something until I'm much older with the gray hair and my back possibly starts hurting, then I could see myself being outdoors talking to people about literally everything from the geology of an area to the history of an area to just the different foliage that they may see on a hike in an area. So I kind of just had to get back to myself and figure out who I wanted to be, more or less, and mold myself to who I wanted to be. Um, so I feel like in that found family situation, nature was able to be that family as well as that friend and just kind of be there, not necessarily telling me or giving me any sort of advice to lead me in a specific way, but they were just there leading the hand on the shoulder, um, and just kind of letting me be for a bit until I more or less get to where I wanted to be. I would say that is accurate in terms of nature allowing you to just open up and be who you really are. Um, it's again that family, that found family. It doesn't need you to be anything. It doesn't ask you to be anything. It doesn't want you to put on a certain mask and put on a smile and your best Sunday dress suit. Like it just be you and be okay with you as you go outside. And it's so much growth that can just come from that. You don't have to necessarily do something for family, but they're there. They take care of you and like they're something that you can lean on for that resource if you have it, in my regard. Um, for nature, with it being there, something you can go to if you feel great about yourself, if you don't feel great about yourself, if you're in the middle and kind of feel meh, it you can come out here and it'll almost like a good family, it'll bring you in and with open arms. And to keep that more or less relationship, to not only have the openness of nature bringing you in with its arms, but to know that it's there for you. I feel like it's just good manners, just being respectful, more or less, to be able to take care of it in small ways to big ways, whether it's picking up that one candy wrapper that you see kind of a little over there, or just maybe saying something if you see something in terms of weird activity out in nature somewhere to the proper ranger authorities in that regard. But just being kind to something that's kind to you, it's I feel like more encompassing than even just nature itself, but just with people. If you're kind to people in most aspects, they can be kind to you. Um, so showing that same regard to something that is a living environment. It's not a person necessarily, but it is something that can die or pass if you're not taking care of it. And it's something that can flourish and live and produce so many different things that can benefit you and itself, and so many different things we're not thinking about if you take care of it and give it the proper respect as a steward of nature should. Being out in nature and being able to use all of my senses to interact with the outdoors is just a really grounding feeling for me. Being able to sit down and actually feel like I'm rooted in the earth and be able to have my fingers kind of go through the grass or the blades of grass and kind of feel like roots of trees. Being able to close my eyes and feel the wind on my face and maybe smell anything that's kind of being carried by the wind. Even just if there's an ethical foraging in mind, just being able to take a certain plant and if it's sage, perhaps being able to crush that in my hands and feel it along the palms of my hands, and then to be able to smell it. It's just so many different senses and different ways that you can be one with the earth, as kind of high up as that may sound, but being able to connect with that way just seems really a little more personal to me, just how I interact with it. Like everyone can have a Lego set, but just what you create from it, what you do with it, and how you interact with it says a lot about you and just feels something to you. And I feel like that's really important. It doesn't have to be the same for everybody. It's not necessarily instructions for one person to another. But if I can kind of share how I feel and how I interact with it, just again, the little things with fingers through the blade of grass, I feel like give other people that openness to maybe try something different or maybe do something outside of their own comfort zone in a way. Honestly, like when I go out and sometimes on hikes and walks, like it's sometimes I'll pop my earbuds in and zone out to music, and I may not do the whole why thing for myself. But when I do want to kind of just expand my mind and I want to take the earbuds out and go a little further or even turn down the music, just simple things like why, and if there are no leaves similar to this one here, why did those fall here? How breezy did it have to be? What were the odds of it falling right there in that spot? Will a bird decide that this one looks good enough? How does a bird decide if certain leaves or certain twigs are perfectly right? There's so many that look the same. I would just gather a few of them up. What sort of process do the birds think for when they're gathering to make all of their different bird nests and gatherings of just collective things that they sometimes have? Do they pick a certain tree? Does it have to be dead to a certain extent? Like it's a lot of things out there that would just make you go further. um I don't know if you're brave enough to want to go further. I feel it's beautiful. It just inspires you to want to go further, just want to figure something out, keep that curiosity going. Hmm. If I had to use my like own experience and own wisdom, I guess, with the outdoors and kind of what I've accumulated in my own sort of lifetime and experience with it and everything, I'd probably say the biggest thing for anybody, no matter how young, how old, how how much you go outside to how little you go outside. I feel like the biggest words I could kind of share, or point of view, is just to be kind to yourself and keep an open mind. And by be kind to yourself in terms of, you don't have to go out thinking, I don't know anything about plants or grasses, or I don't know how to listen for bird sounds and know this or that. You can go outside with literally no knowledge of the outdoors besides you like rocks, or that you like the sound of the wind in the trees, the rustling of the trees. So it just being kind to yourself and knowing that you don't have to be more than who you are to go outside and enjoy the outdoors, and keeping an open mind and that curiosity for what could be out there. It's not just you going outside and you see a tree, keeping an open mind to maybe you start to see some curious activity in the tree that starts to intrigue you. Whoever thought that you would see this certain type of bird or this certain type of squirrel, or who knew Colorado even had ground squirrels, all sorts of crazy cool stuff. So that curiosity piece is really important. That's almost like the carrot that dangles in front of you to keep you going a little further. But that kindness and being kind to yourself and just being easy to yourself, that's more of an internal thing that is super important, almost like putting on a jacket before you go outside, just to make sure that you're okay with what you know going out there. You don't have to be more than what you are. Just want to go out there.